One Punch Man is going crazy right now, as in this chapter, we see Saitama basically kidnapping Sweet Mask, and then we also see Watchdog Man, whom I don't even know how long it has been since the last time we saw him. Alright, so starting off this chapter, we see Saitama going towards Sweet Mask, who has transformed into his, I guess you could call it, beast form. Saitama tells him that during the time they had together, he was thinking about what Sweet Mask's deal was. However, he then smiles and looks right at Sweet Mask, and tells him that he is a really cool guy. Sweet Mask then gets a slight smile and tells Saitama that right now, he has the perfect chance, telling him that if he kills Sweet Mask right now, then he will become famous overnight, explaining that it would be his honor to witness the birth of the ideal hero, and he then lets out a little laugh. Saitama just looks at him, and is getting slightly annoyed as he asks Sweet Mask if he is still going on about it, saying that he really is persistent. But Sweet Mask tells him to take a good look at him, telling Saitama that it's already too late for him, and he then begs him to end him. Saitama then gets out his fist and then lightly taps him on his chest and tells Sweet Mask that he is just getting started. He continues and says that it's going to get more and more interesting from now on. Sweet Mask then says Saitama's name, and it feels like Saitama's words is having a positive effect on Sweet Mask. However, just then, Blue Fire just has to ruin it as he screams towards Saitama to get out of here and says that it's dangerous. And just then, Sweet Mask takes his whole beast fist around Saitama's body, and it looks like he tries to squeeze Saitama. He then screams out and asks Saitama what he thinks about this, and says that the monster version of himself is pretty strong, isn't it? He looks angry and says that he will crush Saitama's head if he doesn't fight back, asking Saitama what it is that he's going to do. Saitama, funnily enough, just tells him to hold on tight, and he then starts getting his legs ready. And after that, we just see both of them flying high up into the sky, and everyone in the crowd is just in pure awe. After that, we see a speech bubble, and someone saying, "You go and become that ideal hero of yours." And I'm unsure who is actually saying this. But yeah, we also see a quick panel of Genos, who sees Saitama taking Sweet Mask with him. And then the news says that, in other words, the monster disaster that occurred in I-City today at 4 o'clock has become a major trending topic, saying that according to multiple witness statements, Sweet Mask is a monster. The authenticity of these statements will be confirmed through recorded video evidence and expert analysis. The Hero Association will undergo a fair deliberation process based on this evidence and render a judgment. They are unable to establish communication with Sweet Mask, and the issue of whether it is justified to hunt him down if he is determined to be a monster has generated much debate online, continuing as they say that based on previous cases of dangerous criminals convincing the masses in order to expand their influence, many hope to skip the process of capturing him and go straight to execution instead. We then get to the higher-up, who says that it has been confirmed that the footage is genuine, saying that Caped Baldy, who was taken from the scene, has returned safely. Although he says that he doesn't know where Sweet Mask is, they say that this is a grave situation, calling it a huge blow to the Hero Association, and that some sponsors have even started to say that they will demand damage compensation. We then see someone who looks like Gish, saying that he can't believe that the advertising pillar of the Hero Association of all people was a monster, asking if they are telling him that no one was able to recognize his true identity. After that, someone says that he did in fact avoid Metal Knight's monster detection gate, as he usually enters through the roof via helicopter, saying that he managed to keep his composure and entered and exited the enemy's headquarters at will, calling him a terrifying monster. We then see Jinzurin saying that there are testimonies that he also helped the park visitors at the scene. Another one asks if he is talking about the testimony from the former Narinki private squad that wasn't worth a damn during the Monster Association's operation, asking if he really thinks that they can be trusted. After that, McCoy takes his stance and says that they are probably trying to put them in their debt, expecting employment as heroes with generous compensation in return. Then, another branch worker asks how the association will be able to collect donations in the future. Another one says that up to this moment, their financing plan relied heavily on his popularity, and that they need to find another spokesperson immediately, saying that they have dispatched scouts everywhere but there hasn't been much progress, explaining that everyone gave the same answer as they already have a contract with someone else, saying that it's that new organization. They continue and say that Blast's whereabouts are basically unknown, and that Sweet Mask, belonging to them, was supposed to be one of their strengths. We then get to Sitch, who thinks that the hand of Neo can be seen in the news too, as usual. We then see him watching his phone, and they are interviewing some of the heroes about Sweet Mask. Watchdog Man says that if he truly is a dangerous monster, then he should have known by his smell. Zombie Man says that it's an ongoing investigation, and that he can't make any comments until the situation been cleared up. Tank Top Master says that he personally believed his actions were filled with tank top energy, which sure enough, We then see two news reporters, I would assume, saying that there are all comments from heroes belonging to the Hero Association, but that they seem rather vague. He asks someone else, called Ignoramushi, about what he thinks. He says that he doesn't know what they are talking about, and instead asks for some comments from the heroes belonging to the new organization, the Neo Heroes. We then get to Mr. A, who says that honesty and trustworthiness are their motto, saying that Neo Heroes emphasize the utilization of technology to thoroughly enforce these values, and of course, the control over their members is impeccable. He then says, enough with Sweet Mask and enough about the Hero Association, as if they ended up in this situation as a result of neglecting the quality of their heroes and only worrying about looks, calling them a failure as a pro-hero organization. We then get to Metal Bat, who asks the camera crew if they want him to make a comment to discredit Sweet Mask and the Hero Association, and they say that he is on point. Metal Bat then gets ready and says Sweet Mask's name, saying that he doesn't know if he really is a monster or not, but if they're not doing something crooked as heroes, there's no need to run and hide. He then points to the camera and tells Sweet Mask not to skulk around, and that if he is a man, then he should come out with his head held high, and the Hero Association might turn a blind eye to him, but he can't fool the eyes of them real heroes. When he's done, Sekingar goes to him and says that he did a good job, and Metal Bat just says that he said what he thought. The news reporter says that that's all, and that these were the heroes from Neo Heroes, calling them such reassuring comments. Sekingar then tells Metal Bat that he thought that them two were like cats and dogs, and Metal Bat just says that his little sister was thrilled to get his autograph, and that's the end of this chapter. Actually, a really solid chapter. However, I have to admit that I feel so bad for Sweet Mask, because the only reason why he decided to go into his monster or beast form, or whatever you want to call it, it was simply so that he could protect a bunch of civilians who was at the amusement park. But as he did that, he got so much hate towards him, which I also see, because in that form, he does look like a new type of monster. And as he has had his own persona revolving around his looks, to then be revealed as a monster must be tough and confusioning for everyone. However, I'm unsure where Saitama hid him, and what he is going to do now, because as we know, Saitama is already back, but Sweet Mask is nowhere to be found. Probably he is hiding somewhere, and it's only Saitama who knows where that is, but still, I really feel bad for him. However, in chapter 216, it did sound like he was able to transform back to his original form as Sweet Mask, so if he can do that, then I would still believe that everything could be fixed, as he could just say that his beast form is the form he goes into when he really needs the power and overall gets stronger. But I don't know, the civilians might still have a problem with that, which, if they do, I feel like it's really messed up. But yeah, I'm actually super excited for the next chapter and learn what's going to happen to Sweet Mask, as he is someone who has become one of the characters who I really enjoy. But let me know what you thought about this chapter. Anyway, if you like content and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel. And while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video, which will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.